everyone, and what's going on? My name is Victoria, and I welcome you to the very first edition of the CHS Radio podcast. I am super excited for this podcast and can't wait to jump right into this thing. But before we do, and since this is the very first edition of CHS Radio, I think I should probably give you a little background info first. So this podcast is run and produced by some really awesome and unique individuals representing Calvert High School. You'll hear from some of those people in just a minute when we get into the real meat of the podcast. And just in case if you didn't guess, Calvert High School is where we get the CHS part of our name. Our interest in this podcast is to get you to crack a smile while listening to it, maybe even get you a little chuckle going on, keep you up to date on some of the latest medias, and maybe even educate you a little bit on something that you didn't know. Personally, I know that everyone on this team that has taken part in the production and process of making this podcast is super excited to be finally putting it out there. So for now, that's all I have for you, so let's jump right into the podcast. Hope you enjoy it.
Hey y'all, my name is Serena Morgan and I'm the head of announcements for Calvert High School Radio. I have a few things for you guys. First of all, this is for all the artists in Calvert. The t-shirt contest is still on. I'm not sure when the deadline is, but please send in designs. I'm sure you guys have a ton of awesome designs you can submit. This is for everyone in PE. You need to do the exercise log Mr. Strong puts up every week. I know, exercise blech. But these exercises aren't actually super terrible. He gave me an example one. You could do 30 jumping jacks, 20 wall push-ups, 20 lunges, 10 for each leg. 5 regular push-ups, a minute of jogging in place, 1 minute of butt kicks. I laughed really hard when I read that. 1 minute walking out, 30-second planks, and then a cool down. It sounds a bit more terrible now that I actually read through it, but hey, we'll get through it. I think. We have a peer tutoring club now. We have students in almost every single subject, and they're awesome at them. I know almost every tutor, and they're all super nice. They'll try their best to make sure you get the help you need and have a bit of fun while doing it. You can book a session by going to www.peertutor.simplybook.me. Simple. We have a lot of clubs this semester. I'm in 3 of them, but I hear that the other ones are really fun. I know there's Spanish Club, and they meet on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern. If I can manage to get up there early, I'm definitely trying that one out. I'm part of Calvert Voices and CHS Radio. They were both closed, but now we just call them Calvert Voices and CHS Radio. Calvert Voices is our new school newspaper. If you want to check it out, our website is www.calvertvoices.com. We meet every Tuesday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're always looking for new people, so just stop on in whenever you can. CHS Radio is our school podcast, which was formerly known as Broadcast Journalism Club. We meet every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. The last club I know of is Creative Writing. That's the last one I'm in. We're actually doing some really fun things in that club. We're doing Camp NaNoWriMo, and that actually starts tomorrow. The information for that is on Edmodo. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We also have Trisha Wooldridge coming back to talk to us soon. I'm really excited for that. I'm pretty sure our next meeting is May 14th, but I'm not exactly sure what time. I think that'll also be in place of the Calvert Voices meeting that day, but I'm not sure. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Next up, we have our television segment hosted by Rachel. Listen up for what she has to say about what's going on in the TV world.
Hello everyone and welcome to CHS Radio's TV division. My name is Rachel and I'm joined with some mini Haribo gummy bears to give you the latest news on your favorite TV shows. Want to know what got renewed, what's new, and what's on the chopping block? Stick around to find out. I am absolutely thrilled to announce that Fox Network's amazing supernatural drama Sleepy Hollow has been renewed for a 3rd season. It does, however, look like they've gotten a new showrunner, so we'll see how that goes down. For those of you who don't know, Sleepy Hollow follows the story of Ichabod Crane, a man who awakens from death 250 years in the future. He works with Lieutenant Abby Mills to solve a series of mysteries relating to the supernatural while trying to uncover the secrets of his past. VH1 recently renewed its new show Hindsight. It's a comedy about a girl who travels back in time to the day of her first wedding. Sci-Fi's new drama 12 Monkeys just got picked up for a 2nd season as well. That one follows a man sent back in time to prevent the spread of a virus that will one day destroy the world's population. Time travel seems to be a big theme lately, huh? CBS just renewed 2 of its comedies, Two Broke Girls, which returns for its 5th season, and Mom, coming back for its 3rd. And finally, the hit crime drama Broadchurch, starring David Tennant and Olivia Colman, was picked up by BBC for its 3rd season. Now, on to the hard stuff. The CW just canceled its 4-season-long drama Heart of Dixie, the story of a big city woman who finds herself practicing medicine in a small southern town. NBC canceled its new dramedy Taxi Brooklyn after only 12 episodes, which aired last summer. Unfortunately, the new drama Allegiance, which followed a CIA analyst who discovers that his parents are Russian spies, just got pulled from the NBC listings. And last but not least, John Sims' new show Intruders won't be returning for a second season. Now that it's cleared its schedule, NBC has a new crime drama coming out on May 28th called Aquarius. Aquarius is about two cops who investigate a case that leads them on the trail of Charles Manson. 80s heartthrob Matt Dillon has a new show coming out on the Fox network called Wayward Pines, set to air on May 14th. This is another mystery drama about a Secret Service agent investigating the disappearance of two feds. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely stoked for Sci-Fi's new show Olympus. It follows the story of a man seeking to uncover the truth about his past, which is supposedly intertwined with the gods. For those of you who are upset about BBC canceling Atlantis, I'd definitely be sure to check this one out. Set your DVRs, my friends, for it will have started on April 2nd. Okay, so, if you're like me, you like to compile a huge list of shows that you're going to pretend that you plan on watching, and one of my jobs here is to add to that ever-expanding list. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite shows right now, which is BBC's Musketeers. Set in 17th century Paris, this delightful period drama follows the adventures of the four, yes, I said four, musketeers. You have Aramis, the sharpest shooter in the regiment, Porthos, the brute of the group, Athos, the incredibly angry and bitter leader, and D'Artagnan, the kind-hearted Gascon. For me, this is one of those shows that you want to go out and buy every single piece of merch available. However, I do want to give a fair warning. While I was hooked from the very first scene of the very first episode, when I introduced it to my sister, it took her about 3 episodes to really get into. So keeping this in mind, I ask you to forge ahead and at least wait until the 3rd episode before you decide that you don't like it. With that being said, it has a marvelous blend of action, comedy, and romance, enough to make it so that you don't get tired of those really sappy love stories, but so that you don't get overwhelmed by a ton of violence. And best of all, it just got renewed for a 3rd season. Now, before I go on about the Musketeers for the entire show and ruin it for you, I'm going to move on to a second recommendation that I couldn't resist including. Not long ago, the fantastic screenwriter Dean Devlin, who was the creator of Leverage, graced us with the existence of the Librarians on TNT. My personal classification of the show would be dramedy, but I highly suggest that you judge that for yourself. Eve Bard, a clean-cut NATO agent, is chosen to be the guardian of the Librarian, played by Noah Wyle, who saves the world from innumerable magical threats. It isn't long before the two are joined by 3 very gifted people who were all given the opportunity to become a librarian in the past. There's Jacob Stone, played by Leverage all-star Christian Kane, who's an art and history buff with an IQ over 190. Ezekiel Jones, a mischievous thief with extensive technical knowledge, and Cassandra Cillian, gifted in mathematics and given numerous abilities due to a brain tumor. The show is centered around a series of myths, some of which include Excalibur, the Loom of Fate, and the Minotaur. I myself just found out that the series is based on a collection of TV movies called The Librarian, which also stars Noah Wyle. That's all from me for now, but be sure to tune in next time to have your soul torn to shreds by the latest cancellations and simultaneously mended by renewals and recommendations. See ya!
Up next, we have Brianna with her movie segment. Let's see what she has to say.
Hey everybody, it's Bree. Thank you for tuning in today to listen to my very first segment for the CHS Radio. In this segment, I will be talking about upcoming movies and critic ratings and reviews. Now, without further ado, let's get on with movies. On March 13th, there will actually be a Disney's Frozen short that will be shown with Disney's new movie, Cinderella. This short is called Frozen Fever, and it is 7 minutes. In Frozen Fever, it's Anna's birthday, and Elsa and Kristoff are determined to give her the best celebration ever. But when Elsa catches a cold, her powers may put more than just the party at risk. Maybe just from knowing that the Frozen short will be played before that movie, all you Frozen fans will now be going to see the new Cinderella. Speaking of which, Disney has decided to come up with a live-action Cinderella movie, which I'm sure a lot of you have either already seen or you've heard of this. I wasn't sure what kind of movie this was. It's said to have some violence, but it's still a fairy tale story made for children. I think that Cinderella movie does actually look pretty cool though, don't you think? I mean, I'm not sure it's worth spending my money on at the movies, but definitely on my wish list for Redbox rentals. Next, I am so excited to talk about this one. We have Insurgent coming out March 20th. Now, I must say, I still think Divergent was the best book in the trilogy, but I'm really excited to see what the director does with this. Movie Insider says Divergent, not Insurgent, but Divergent, has grossed more than $260 million at the worldwide box office, making the film Lionsgate's highest-grossing domestic box office release outside of Hunger Games and Twilight franchises. Looks like this next one will do pretty well also. As I'm sure most of you know, they are keeping Shailene Woodley's pixie haircut for the movie, which I think actually works. I mean, Tris does cut her hair in the very beginning of Insurgent. I think it's even the first chapter. Yeah, the first chapter, she cuts her hair along her jaw. But I think the pixie haircut works. I think Veronica Roth totally planned that, but whatever. And just completely random comment on this, how many of you guys were upset that Uriah wasn't in Divergent? Like, dude, he was my favorite character in the entire series. He has a bigger role in the third book, so I have my fingers crossed that they will bring his character into Insurgent. Well, I had my fingers crossed. Just recently, I did some more research, and it turns out, yes, Uriah is a huge part of Insurgent, one of the main characters. Wow, I'm so excited. Alright, now let's jump into Marvel's The Avengers, Age of Ultron Part 1. That's right, people. Part 1. OMG, I'm like all over the internet, on Amazon, Hot Topic, Forever 21, just like all over the place, trying to find Marvel merchandise to wear to this premiere. This movie looks so cool. I'm dying to see this on premiere night, May 1st. Hey, have any of you guys been able to go to Marvel.com yet? Because that's one of the websites I looked on, and let me just say, if you have not been to that website, you need to. Okay? I mean, that is some serious superhero-ness. Like, yeah. Anyways, you guys gotta check that out. It's Marvel.com. Oh my gosh, when I heard Spider-Man was now part of the Avengers, I nearly wet myself. Probably too much information, but let's just be real here, guys. Come on. Spider-Man is like my favorite superhero. Like, ever. I am just like so excited. This is insane. But then Rachel told me that they fired Andrew Garfield. And I was like, are you kidding me? I got so mad I kicked a wall, which probably was not the best idea, but, you know, stuff happens. But you know why they fired Andrew Garfield? Supposedly, out of all the Spider-Man movies ever made, this recent one, which is, Spider-Man, the second movie, where... Whoops, should I just spoil that for you? Too bad. Anyway, turns out that movie grossed the least out of all the Spider-Man movies ever made. Yeah, pretty embarrassing. Yeah, so Disney has decided to just redo all of Spider-Man. Yeah, it's pretty sad, but whatever. Love you, Andrew Garfield. Also in Marvel's news, Disney is coming out with a new Daredevil series on Netflix, which is said to be more adult-oriented. Sad face. This TV series is going to have Iron Fist, the Defenders in it, so woo! Sounds awesome. IGN.com says the merchandise that's being developed around Netflix content is somewhat limited in scope. Marvel will be focusing less on products that are targeted at the very young consumer, so expect more teen and adult flair aimed at stores such as Hot Topic. So yeah, that just happened. You can hear more about TV shows and stuff in our other segment for TV shows. And of course we cannot forget about the sequel to the greatest acapella movie ever created, Pitch Perfect 2, coming out May 15th this year. Apparently, according to Movie Insiders, Pitch Perfect 2 is, quote, a sequel to the 2012 musical comedy that follows Fat Amy and Becca through their senior year at Barden University. Wow. Well, that was helpful. No, it wasn't. That didn't tell me anything. Whatever. Elizabeth Banks will make her feature directorial debut with Pitch Perfect 2. Okay, so you guys, I was sitting in the theater a couple weeks ago watching trailers when a trailer for Pan came on. I almost jumped out of my seat. This movie looks so freaking epic. One of my friends was in a play for the original Peter Pan. He played Captain Hook, and we both are now freaking out about this movie. Here's the description of the movie given by Movie Insider. The action-adventure follows the story of an orphan who is spirited away to the magical Neverland. There he finds both fun and dangers and ultimately discovers his destiny to become the hero who will be forever known as Peter Pan. For the record, I want you guys to know that WordCheck tried to tell me that Neverland wasn't a word. How dare you, WordCheck? You guys gotta see the trailer for this. I mean, it just looks amazing. And yeah, look that up. Pan trailer. Alright guys, that is it for today. Tune in next time to hear maybe future movie updates such as The Fantastic Four, Hotel Transylvania 2, and Maze Runner Scorch Trials. This is Brianna Swan signing out. See ya!
Next up, we have the music segment. In the attempt to add humor into these introduction bits between segments, I'll be making this one sound like an advertisement. Next up, we have Rachel, who will be giving you some of the latest deets on some of the latest beats.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Rachel, back and ready to welcome you to CHS Radio's Music Corner. Whether you listen to jazz, rock, or Disney pop songs, I'm here to give you the latest news from the music world. Well, it's probably old news by now. Mumford & Sons recently announced that they intend on leaving behind their folkish music style, which is reflected in their new single, Believe. Don't worry though, their new vibe is just as beautiful as their old one. Believe is available for download on iTunes, and the rest of the album, Wilder Mind, will be released on May 4th. The amazing band Rixton recently released their latest album, Let the Road, featuring songs such as Hotel Ceiling, Appreciated, and a remix of their hit single, Me and My Broken Heart. March 31st saw the release of Darius Rucker's new album, Southern Style, which is made up of 15 songs. This can be found on both iTunes and Spotify. I have yet to notice a pattern in the flux of free music on iTunes, but there are currently 10 songs up for download, including stuff from artists like Fort Romeo, Shake Shake Go, and Delta Spirit. In addition, there is a huge sale going on right now with 69-cent songs, which, because of my dad's incredibly rude new computer, I cannot view. However, there seem to be some really great classic rock hits, including Aerosmith, Billy Joel, Black Sabbath, Blue Suede. There's also some rock and alternate hits, number ones, pure pop hits of the thousands, 90s, and 80s prom hits. I would love to get some of this action, but this computer is rude. Now, it's time to get to the best part, recommendations. I'll give you a list of songs and bands that I've been obsessed with lately, as well as some suggestions for programs and other websites to check out. We'll start with the latter. Most people use one of two programs to listen to music, iTunes or Spotify. In light of recent events, and by recent events I mean the latest update totally destroying my iTunes, I've started using Spotify, which is absolutely amazing if you're looking for songs but you don't want to buy them. It's like listening to the radio, only you're not forced to listen to really terrible music, and it doesn't take you 10 minutes to find a new station. They even have playlists that you can choose from that reflect your mood or what it is that you're doing. As for websites, I only have one, but it is absolutely fantastic. It's called last.fm. No .com, just .fm. It allows you to keep track of songs and artists that you listen to and get recommendations based off of your music taste. It also lets you check up on local concerts. Now, on to the important stuff. Now that tickets for the nearby concert are sold out, I've been listening to Walk the Moon a lot lately. If you've got to pick a song to start with, choose Shut Up and Dance. Other than this one, my personal favorites are Different Colors, Portugal, and Spend Your Dollars. At least for the moment. These songs, and really the entire Talking Is Hard album, are just so upbeat and is the kind of music that you cannot help but dance to. Just make sure no one's in the room first. Another song I've been listening to a lot lately is Blank Space by Taylor Swift. Well, my evil sister was here on spring break. She introduced me to the song, which led me to download it immediately and listen to it on repeat for over a week. Fantastic lyrics and meaning aside, it's got such a catchy stop-and-go beat, so be sure to check that one out. And if you have time, check out the video as well. While it's been somewhat tainted by my mother's incessant listening, I've recently discovered Temperature by Sean Paul. Now, if you asked me about a month ago whether or not I'd ever find myself listening to Jamaican rap, I probably would have said something along the lines of, yeah, probably not. I mean, sure, I listen to some rap, but it's definitely not at the top of my charts. And yeah, I mean, Jamaican rap is likely to exist, but it really isn't something that you think about until you hear it. That aside, it's a lot different from the types of rap that you're probably used to, like Eminem and Nicki Minaj. It's more singing than rap, really, and it's got some fantastic drumming in the background. Speaking of rap, maybe I should try and wrap up my recs for this issue, because I could probably go on for the full 45 minutes and then some. But I can't resist, so I'm dropping one more. As some of you probably don't know at all, seeing as this is our first podcast, I am a huge follower of the USA series Suits. And when I discovered that they have a playlist on Spotify, I was there like butter on bread. And man, let me tell you, best decision ever! That show has some seriously great music. It's hard to describe the style exactly, but a lot of them have a very classic rock or jazz sort of vibe. You just have to hear it for yourself. since I can't list them all, I'll go with my top 5, which are Stampa by Serena Ryder, Love Me Again by John Newman, Free by Graffiti 6, Gold on the Ceiling and Howlin' For You by the Black Keys, and finally, Perfect Day by the Constellations. That's it from me, but if you guys want to keep up with my musical shenanigans outside the podcast, go to last.fm and add Llama Llama 33. Again, that's last.fm, user Llama Llama 33. We're just gonna ignore my username for now. Also, CHS Radio is on Spotify, so check out our profile to hear the songs mentioned in this podcast and other recommendations by yours truly. Stay tuned for music by Calvert's very own Naomi. This is Old Red Chevy.
Early June in Indiana, he's parked out front, gonna pick her up. The radio on the drive by the railroad tracks. Fast forward 4 years later, he's getting ready to go to New York. She's going to Alabama, they ain't looking back. They pushed it out of their minds till the day came. And she tried not to cry, knowing it's gotta be this way. When she was going south, he was heading north. After kissing goodbye on that front porch, she never thought there'd be a day she'd watch all their love drive away. She stayed there numb, waving goodbye, watching fade into the blue summer sky. She felt as though there was a missing piece of her left, that old red Chevy. Pretty soon he called her on the phone. He was settled in college, her at home. They made small talk but didn't know what to say. That night her radio was on. Wouldn't you know it was their song. She burst into tears as the old melody played. Despite the pain, she wanted to hear it again. Felt familiar and safe, even though it reminded her when she was going south, he was heading north. After kissing goodbye on that front porch, she never thought there'd be a day she'd watch all their love drive away. She stayed there numb, waving goodbye, watching fade into the blue summer sky. She felt as though there was a missing piece, her left, that old red Chevy. 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, she woke up to the sound of the song playing and the headlights of her truck shining in. She ran up the doors to the drive, opened up the door, the passenger side, and she jumped in. And he said, I had to go where you are. It's awfully lonely up in New York. I can't let 1,000 miles keep me from seeing you smile. So I hopped in, drove away to the beginnings of a brand new day, a new life, if you wanna start it with me. And with that, he pulled out a ring. Early June in Alabama, they're all outside waiting for the beautiful bride to come complete the scene. Many happy tears later, he took her out to where it was parked, and they drove away in the old red Chevy.
I hope you have enjoyed our first edition of CHS Radio and that you will tune in for our next episode coming soon. But if you have enjoyed this episode or even just found it mildly amusing, you should check us out at our website, podcast@chsradio.org. or find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Google Plus as CHS Radio. For now, that's all I have for you, and I'm Victoria signing out. And enjoy one last word from Serena as she closes us out for our first edition of CHS Radio. Bye now.
Hey guys, it's Serena Morgan again. I'm also the disclaimer for Calvert High School Radio. The sources used in this edition were iTunes, IMDb, and Is My Show Cancelled? I also wanted to give a shout out to the backstage crew at Calvert High School Radio. We would have never gotten this far without you guys, so thank you so much for all your help with this. All of us also want to say thank you to Ms. Radachi, who's helped us with all of this. She didn't just give us approval for this and go about her merry way. She's helped every single one of us with everything we needed. A simple thank you just can't express how grateful we are, but unfortunately all of us live pretty much all around the world, and we can't just give you one big hug. Which kind of stinks, because you deserve at least that much. So, until we can all meet up and give you that huge hug, this thank you will have to do. So thank you, Miss R. That's all I have for you guys, and I swear I'm done now. Thank you. Bye.
CBS just renewed 2 of its comedies, Two Broke Girls, which just renewed for its Wow, which...
Next, I'm decided... 3, 2...
So keeping that in mind, I ask you to forge ahead and at least wait until the 3rd episode before you make up my mind. Your mind. Wow, yeah, please make up my mind for me.
I mean, Tris does cut her hair in the very...
Ezekiel Jones, a mischievous thief with extensive knowledge. Yeah, extensive knowledge of nothing.
But I think the pixie cut hair... Wow, seriously, the pixie cut haircut? Okay, 3. Wait for the music to start.
In Cassandra. In Cassandra... No.
I mean, Tris does her...
That one follows a man sent back in time. A man. It follows a man.
It was even the first chapter that she... Oh my gosh!
Now, before I go on about the Musketeers and end up spoiling the entire show, I'm going to move over to a second... No. Just do the entire thing over again.
Anyways, so Disney has decided to...
Athos, the incredibly bitter leader, haunted by memories of a woman he once loved. Porthos...
Elizabeth Banks will make her featured My gosh!
That's all from me for now, but be sure to tune in next time to have your soul torn to shreds by the latest cancelizations again. I mean, sure, I listen to some rap, but it's definitely not at the top.